There's a famous quote by Albert Einstein, and he says, this is something that I keep returning to over and over again. He says the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, but expecting different results. I love that saying. It reminds me that I have to do the thing that I know is going to work, not the thing I'm just telling myself is going to work, right? I think that's important. Whenever I step outside of that realistic point of view, sorry mate, it's a bit trippy down here, so whenever I step outside of that realistic point of view in terms of changing habits or hard work or commitment or responsibility, when I'm looking at something from the perspective of seeking out the easy route, it's a bit like alcohol moderation. I'm trying to delay the inevitable, or I'm trying to take the shortcut, but it's a shortcut to somewhere that doesn't exist anywhere else except in my mind. And I'm fooling myself, right? I'm certainly, it's a form of insanity on my part. And the reason I do it every time is because I'm trying to avoid the discomfort. I know what's going to work. I know it's going to create discomfort now or later, either now or later. My ideas of this has always been now, especially since I stopped drinking alcohol and I started on this journey, has been I might as well take the discomfort now, because the discomfort later on is going to be so much more. And if I try and I fail and I don't do this, I'm going to keep having to go over this stuff again and again and again. Like I said in another video, you build up walls of doubt inside of you that are just so hard to get across. And it all comes down to the basic stuff. If I want to lose weight, I eat less food, I eat the right food, and I stop eating the wrong food. And I put up with the discomfort. Every time I do that, it works, right? Every single time when I lose weight. But then it's no fun, it's boring, it's not what I'm used to doing, right? I'm used to doing something completely different, but every time it works. Stop eating the food that's crap, start eating the food that's right, cut back on my calories, do some more exercise, etc., right? So alcohol moderation in its many forms, that's one of the things that kept me living this life of delusion a long time after I should have moved on. I should have copped on to myself. I should have understood why I was doing this. And why was that? Because every single time that I tried to cut back on the amount of booze that I was scoffing, I always convinced myself that this time things would be different, right? This time I had a solid plan for making sure that I stuck to my guns. This time I was a different person. This time the circumstances were much better. This time was the perfect time. This time was the right time. This time I had no choice but to knuckle down and get it done. This time I had to make it stick. And I hear this same thing over and over again from my clients, because it is what your brain is trying to tell you. Your brain is trying to tell you, look, stick to the thing that you know. Don't go looking at things that you don't know. Do the things that you know. It's not factoring in that this thing is fucking killing you. So the truth is that if you keep seeing alcohol in the same way, alcohol is going to keep delivering on that same promise, right? If you keep viewing alcohol through the same lens, you're always going to see alcohol in the same way, the way that got you into trouble in the first place. Right now, 10 years after I stopped drinking alcohol, I see alcohol as a poison in all areas of my life. That it poisoned my life, that it continued to poison my life for 30 years, and it would have continued to poison my life. But I didn't get to that stage overnight. Like I said, it's taken me 10 years to, not to build it, but I had to build it. I had to construct these things. I had to break down the things that I wanted to. I had to break down a lot of the old habits, a lot of the old thinking. You have to break down the cycle. The cycle has to be broken by somebody, and who's gonna break it if it's not gonna be you? The basis of any habit is repeating the same programming over and over again. That's how you build the habits. The basis of any bad habit is repeating the same programming over and over again when you don't want to, or when part of you doesn't want to. It feels like you're, it certainly felt for me like I was a hamster just on one of these stupid plastic wheels going around and around and around. So it is about shifting mindsets. We'll do a few more videos on this, I think, because it's an important subject. But if you don't believe it's a simple choice is one mindset that you can get rid of. Like I said, over a decade ago, I finally came to the realization that I had to stop drinking. You know, there was no ifs and buts anymore. I had no choice in it. And to do that, I had to shift my mindsets. I had to shift my beliefs. That process, if I can break it down into the simplest of terms, is first I had to start believing that change was possible, right? That's the first thing that you have to do. Second, I had to start believing that I had the power to change my habits. And like I said, these things don't come overnight. They don't happen overnight. It's a process, but you know, how is it going to be any other way? Who else has the power to change these things? You know, nobody but you. It takes time, it takes energy, but you'll be rewarded much, much more for both of these things. So start out with a little bit of belief that you can do this, you know, even if it's only a maybe belief, it's better than no belief, you know. All right, if you want to get some help with your mindsets that we've been talking about in this video, we've got our step-by-step year-long program called Habits Feed 2. Alternatively, we've got a free beginners program. The links are both in the description below. So take care of yourself. Speak to you in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye for now.